Hello everyone, Rimea here, and yeah, I made another New Super Luigi U stage. Obviously, I didn't stream this one. I didn't stream making this one at least, simply because I don't really have the time to stream at this point. However, I still wanted to continue on these levels or this mod or whatever this is going to be for. I don't know. And yeah, I made a castle stage with Grrrols and conveyor belts and donut blocks. Those are the three main mechanics, because those are also right at the start here. And I decided, I did originally record like a time lapse and me kind of talking about the level as I was making it, but it was very rambly and like there's a lot of stuff where I like tried out different ideas and it didn't work out. That was like half the video, so I decided to just scrap that, and instead I'm just going to kind of explain the level right now, and I'll like intercut it with some clips of the level while I talk about it probably. And I think there should be a good substitute, because I like the idea of just still keeping it to where every single level for this potential mod or whatever is going to be made like publicly, and so it's still like the same sort of concept that we've been running with, even if it's not streamed. Anyways, yeah, talking about the level, it's very I'm like really happy actually with the way this turned out. It's nice. So we start off, as usual with these Luigi levels, kind of like, throwing the main mechanic right in the player's face without them actually being in any immediate danger per se. So in this case, you have this Grrrol rolling through these blocks, immediately introducing that mechanic, and then also the player gets the opportunity to get a mushroom if they're small, but if they're big, they get a coin. So that kind of balances it out, because it is a pretty difficult stage, I'd say. So it's good giving the player a power-up right away. Then we've got a big dry bones. There's like I think there's one more big dry bones. Actually, no, I guess there's only that one big dry bones. Whatever. There's some dry bones just throughout the stage. Just it's not really a mechanic. They're just kind of here for like typical castle stuff. And you can jump on him and go to the semi-solid and you get some coins spawning down below. However, I wouldn't really advise actually going for those coins. There's a clapping controller if you get all of them, but the problem is that then the next section kind of already gets blocked, because this pipe right here like slowly gets the entrance to this pipe is these two brick blocks, and those slowly get chipped away at by the Grrrol that spawn from this spawner. And so if you wait around too much in the other section, those will already have been gone and like destroyed by the time you get there, and you might not know that yet. So it's a bit of a like minor flaw, I suppose, that you don't really know that as the player, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. Anyways, so yeah, this is just like a neat little section kind of introducing, combining the mechanics. So we've got first we've got a conveyor belt that goes against the direction of the Grrrol. So the Grrrols will always go left in this section. So they start off slow, and they fall off. They keep going even slower, but then they hit the wall and they fly off to the right, and then they slowly destroy the brick blocks. If you go to the pipe, you end up in a very simple bonus room here. Shoutouts to Willy and Deserted SMBU's 1-1, which has a very similar section to this, except here I use donut blocks because that's also a mechanic in this stage. And pretty simple bonus room. You end back up at the first main power up of the stage, I suppose. Also, if you come out of that pipe, you might notice the Grrrols can pretty easily already hit you. Like if you just stand still, they'll get you pretty quickly. That's a bit of like it's not great, but honestly, I didn't really know where else to put this pipe. And honestly, it's also not that big of a deal because it's a Luigi U stage, so it's allowed to be a little bit more difficult and maybe a little bit finicky in that sense. Anyways, yeah, here we combine the donut blocks and the Grrrols. We've first combined the conveyor belt and the Grrrol, so now we've got like a combination of lots of different mechanics going. Got a bit of a conveyor belt there. I kind of like this edition of this conveyor belt here because it actually allows you to like jump up all the way from that conveyor belt. You can jump up to the conveyor belt to the right, like way above. You can do like a cool triple jump there. It's really interesting. Anyways, yeah, so now we have this section with all these donut blocks here, and of course the puzzle here is that you can lower 2 donut blocks to get the Grrrol spawner to spawn the Grrrols, and then like roll into the brick blocks, and then you can go to the pipe. And also the cool thing here, of course, is that the Grrrols, otherwise their main route is flying off to the left on those conveyor belts, and they kind of like roll over the blocks that you can stand on. So there's no real like place of safety here. Everywhere you stand, you'll either get pushed off, or you'll fall down because of the donut blocks, or you get hit by the Grrrols. There's a lot of like frantic stuff like that in this stage. Yeah, so that bonus room, of course, is it's like one of the classic Mario staples, doing the Donkey Kong-esque thing. And I said to kind of spice it up by using the fast conveyor belts. I consider actually like doing the reverse, making the conveyor belts go in the opposite direction. That way there'd be a lot more Grrrols, but they'd be going a lot slower. But that kind of worked out a little bit janky, so instead I went for this very fast alternative instead. Also, once again, very simple, and you go back to the same pipe because like you're pretty safe in that area actually. So there's no reason to have like a separate exit pipe, I felt. There's another power up, and you can also go down here. But this is like a typical thing where you have the player like kind of jumping off of a falling donut block. It's like a thing you often see for bonus rooms, especially, but also just in general. I thought that would be a good thing to integrate into this level as a main section. And if you actually lower 2 donut blocks down instead of just the 1, the Grrrol will fall along with you, which is kind of interesting, and it's a bit precarious as well. If you jump over to the random donut blocks to the left, you have some coins spawning, and if you collect all those coins, you get a clapping noise. That's nice. It's a little bit of like a, you know, just a simple little platforming section with the conveyor belt here where you have to like run against the current, I suppose. And then there's this one section here where I kind of use the Grrrols just as like, they kind of function like poudre-boos, I suppose, you know, just like this object that falls into the lava, you have to avoid it falling. Kind of like poudre-boos, sure. Yeah, then so the main route here is to go down into the green pipe. It was also indicated by the arrow and stuff. I really wanted to make it obvious that that is the main route, because it's a bit jarring having like the final section of this stage be a completely different zone for no apparent reason until you probably get to that zone. But obviously the secret route here is jumping up through this hole here, and you've got like the tiles above already kind of signifying you can walk up here. And then there's like a classic thing with a donut block where you fall down and have to go into the pipe. And I also supplied the player with the 3rd star coin. I didn't really want to do another full bonus room, because the level's already quite long if you go through all the bonus rooms. Like, you can barely even make it. Like, it's hard for me to make it, and I made the level. So I don't think, like, adding another bonus room here was really a good idea. So I decided to kind of do, like, a semi-bonus room, I suppose. It's still a little bit of a challenge. And then, yeah, the final section, it's quite an obvious thing. It's very much like, I think it's like a castle in NSLU 2, like World Mushroom or Star or Flower. I don't know, one of those. I know it has a castle with the spike ball destroying the blocks. And that's pretty much what this last section is, because that makes sense for this level's, like, you know, mechanical progression to end up here. I also provide the player with a power-up here, which is also why there is no invisible power-up to the right here. You know, kind of subverting that trope, I suppose. You can only really get this power up if you're fast enough to get it while the Grrrol's still here, because you can't, you know, if the Grrrol's already destroyed these blocks, you can't jump back and then get the power up because it will fall into the lava. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. The rest of the stage is just the normal 1-dash castle. I just literally just imported the areas from the original stage. I didn't really want to, like, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna add a Grrrol to the Lemmy boss fight or anything like that. That just seems silly to me. Though at least you can say that the Lemmy bouncy balls kind of follow a similar mechanic, like they're kind of similar to the Grrrol's, I suppose. So you can say that's the plus. I didn't really intend it that way though. I wish the mechanics followed the like boss's mechanics more so, or vice versa. But they really just don't, and I don't think there's much I can do about it. Like, there's no mechanic in the game that really matches Lemmy's bouncy bob-omb balls, except for bob-ombs, I suppose. But nah, whatever. But yeah, that's the stage, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably do more videos along these lines in the future, while I'm not able to stream. But though I'm hoping we'll be able to do like more, you know, actual time lapses and me like showing the stage as it's being made instead of this post process I'm doing right now, because this is a bit, you know, whatever. This is fine, but I prefer it if I actually had like a video of showing like me making the stage. But I didn't really like the way that turned out for this particular stage. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe and like and all those things. See you next time. Bye bye.